show and of all of the entertainment here at the park. Now, I'm Susan, and today you'll get a behind-the-scenes look at how we make movie magic. As you probably know, the word movie is a nickname for moving pictures. And in the early days of filmmaking, it must have truly seemed like magic. In the late 1800s, the Pettibone Brothers Manufacturing Company produced magic lanterns, like this one, which were widely used by traveling showmen, projecting images onto white backdrops. Imagine for a moment what that must have been like. You're sitting in a dark tent, suddenly the white backdrop is revealed and a single image appears. Then, when seen in the right order, in the right light, and at the right speed, those images seem to come to life to create a magical new world. On this location for over 100 years. In that time, we've turned out some of the most memorable film moments in Hollywood history.
Hold on to your butts.
So much, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, Susan.
Nice outfit.
Thank you. From the very beginning, the basic concept of the filmmaking process has always remained the same. To make you, the audience, believe that everything that you see is real.
Today's filmmakers have more tools than ever before. High-tech cameras, super fast computers, but they still rely on a category of effects so distinctive, they're known as special.
And the earliest form of special effects are called practical effects, which are effects that are shot on set in front of the camera. And our first example of practical effects is models. Universal's 1932 film The Mummy made use of miniature effects, including scale models, like that one from its opening. And you can tell that's a model because if you look closely, the real pyramids do not say The Mummy. Universal relaunched The Mummy, and believe it or not, that Sphinx that you see there is this Sphinx model that you see here. This is the actual model that was used in making of that film. And the attention to detail is incredible. The hieroglyphics, the scaffolding. I think Susan would agree that models are still a great way to fool the camera.
Oh, absolutely. Another filmmaking tool that also fools the camera is the glass mat. In the terrifying film The Birds, the brilliant Alfred Hitchcock had matte paintings created to achieve the eerie look he wanted for the town of Bodega Bay. Take a look at the side screens. In this literal bird's eye view of the town, only the fire and the parking lot were real. Everything else was hand-painted on glass to create a map and then dropped in front of the camera. And then the footage of the birds was incorporated to complete the effect.
All very cool stuff. So we've shown you two examples of practical effects, models and the glass mat.
And there's also a category of practical effects that involves performers and not just props. Practical stunts!
Did somebody say stunts?
Please welcome our special effects show stunt department!
Yeah! Ooh, I like that, Susan.
Yeah.
Julia came flying in over there. David was upside down over there. How come you and I didn't get a fancy entrance like that?
Because we're wearing nice clothes? You may not know their faces, but you have seen their work in countless television and movie projects, sometimes as stunt doubles for some of your favorite stars. We have Julia Elizabeth here. We have Jay Huerto and our stunt leader David Hernandez. Welcome. David, is it safe to say that some performers almost always double for actors when there's a fight scene?
Yeah, that's right, Susan. Turns out a lot of actors don't like getting hit in the face.
Hit in the face.
Yeah, like this.
Is he okay?
I don't know, are you okay?
I'm okay. You got me. You can get set up. Now, when staging a fight, the art of illusion is very important. All the moves have to be realistic enough to fool the camera without getting anybody injured. So the performers have to make it look believable. Now let me set our scene. Exterior, dark alley, dead of night. A couple nefarious characters are about to mess with the wrong woman. Ready and action!
Where are you heading so fast?
Out there should try at home, right?
That is correct, Susan.
Yikes. Great job. Now don't worry, they'll be back. Did you notice the sound effects in that last scene? Yeah, the dynamic punches, the dumpster hits. Eric, what do we call those added sounds?
Foley! You've probably heard the term Foley before. It's the process of adding sounds to films after they've been shot. But do you know its origins? Jack Foley, he wore many hats. He was a writer, producer, director, he was even a stunt double. But it's when he began producing sound effects for Universal Studios in the early 1920s that he truly began to make a name for himself. For over 30 years, he and his team worked here on the lot at Soundstage 10. If they couldn't recreate sound on the stage, they would go out and get it live. In fact, they invented a technique called direct picture, in which they would add sound effects to finished films all in one take. Everything that they did had to be completely in sync with the action on the screen, because even one mistake meant they had to start all over again in the very beginning. And to help us imagine what that must have been like, please welcome our first volunteers!
The young Morian family from Los Angeles.
Oh yeah! Thank you so much for helping us out, guys. They are going to demonstrate how these ordinary items can be repurposed to sound like something completely different than what you guys might think. For example, this water bottle could be used to articulate the sound of bones breaking. Check it out. Pretty cool, right? And you kids can try that at home, because parents love it when children pretend to break their bones. Take a look at your side screens. We're going to show you a split screen. On one side, we're going to see the hit comedy Identity Thief with Jason Bateman and Melissa McCarthy. On the other side, you're going to see Universal's Foley artists hard at work. Now, I have a plan. Oh yeah, that looks easy, right? We'll find out. It's a clip that they are going Foley. But first, let's talk about the tools that we have up here on the stage. For Baruch, we've got a crash box. It's a wooden box filled with metal objects to sound like crashes. For Isabella, we're going to use our hands to make it sound like running. For Tapin, she's going to use these 2 reams of paper and a cutting board. Those are going to sound like bodies are hitting the ground. Over here, we've got 2 boxing gloves. Those will sound like a punch in the throat and slaps on the face. Then down here at the very end, we've got a cowbell. This will be used for the moment when the panini maker hits Melissa McCarthy in the back of the shoulder. And then this is where we get crazy. Really use your imaginations here, because these handcuffs are going to sound like handcuffs. All right, you guys ready to do this? You'll be watching the big old monitor right over here. We'll make sure you can see it. All right, you guys good to go? Fantastic. You guys ready up at the booth? Let's roll sound, speed, and action. And cut! Give a round of applause! Well done, guys. Come with me. That was good. I think we got almost every single sound effect in there. I left Tamara on the boxing gloves. It looked like she was dancing at a wedding. Guys, stand along this line right here. Now we're going to reintroduce all the elements of filmmaking. We're going to bring back the dialogue, the music, and we're going to incorporate the newly recorded sound effects, and we'll hear how they did. Take a look and listen.
Get over here and give me your wrist. Okay? Now I have a plan.
Good. Good. Now for the big finish. Nailed it. Give her a round of applause. Take a bow, guys. Take a bow. Thank you.
Yes, well done. Thank you. Oh, thank you. While Universal has made great films in every genre, the studio really made a mark over the years, creating some of the industry's most terrifying thriller and horror films. Let's take a peek. And all created with the use of very special horror effects. Emerging from the shadows just behind me are the stars of our horror family. Some of the classic Universal monsters. We have maquettes of Dracula, Chucky and his bride, Michael Myers, Imhotep from the Mummy, Phantom of the Opera, and Mother Bates. The perfect setting for our next demonstration.
That's right, joining us all the way from Los Angeles. Everyone say hi, Jessica. Hi, Jessica.
Jessica was picked for her very impressive scream. So Jessica, let's say that you were face to face with Norman Bates. Let's all hear how you would scream!
The most adorable death ever.
As you saw in that fight earlier, stunt performers have to have a very high pain threshold. So my question is, do you?
Well, do you?
Because this next demonstration involves movie blood. Now, does anyone know what Alfred Hitchcock used for movie blood in the original Psycho? I heard
Who said chocolate syrup? This right over here? That's right, it was chocolate syrup. You win knowledge. That's right, chocolate syrup, because Psycho was a black and white film, so it didn't matter what color the blood was back then. But nowadays, movie blood has to be much more realistic.
Thank you for giving us a hand.
Literally! That's at this point in the show where I need to remind the kids, please, do not try this at home.
Try it at a friend's house. That is right. All right, put your right hand on over the table. Palm up right to your vein, Jessica. Ready?
What's he doing? Yes! What are you doing? We're not really going to use a machete on Jessica.
No, Jessica.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to use a machete.
No.
I have a sharper knife.
Okay.
Take a look at the side screen. Scream on 3, Jessica. 1, 2, 3. She's okay. She's okay. She's fine. This is a classic cinematic horror technique, a Hollywood blood knife. Take a look. This is a false blade with a cutout for her arm that comes out of the handle, like that. Meanwhile, I'm squeezing movie blood from this bulb back here so that it comes out of a tube right where the notch is, so it looks like it's bleeding right from her arm. Give it up for Jessica!
Jessica was amazing. Jessica, you've been great so far. That's the good news. Then, Susan, I guess I'm gonna throw a dance here.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, why don't I give you her phone? I'll be right back, all right?
All right, you're gonna love your next outfit.
All right, cool.
All right, Jessica, you can come with me right over here. We promised you a photo, right? As our thank you. So if you want to set up your camera, I will take your picture on stage. Perfect. Let me pose you with our classic Universal monsters. Your spotlight is right here. And on 3, let's hear that awesome scream one more time, okay? 1, 2, 3. She's okay. You did a nice little circle there. Michael, you go home, Michael Myers. Jessica, that was amazing. I wish we could see it again. I think we can. Take a look at the side screens. You look like you're having fun with Michael. Just laughing at the joke he just said. Give it up for Jessica one more time, everybody. Oh. Stay there, Michael. Well, so far we have shown you practical effects. Now, we're going to switch to visual effects, which are done in a computer, specifically motion capture. So to help me demonstrate motion capture, or mocap, welcome back my co-host, Eric!
This outfit is tight! Seriously, it's tight.
We can tell.
Oh.
Let's activate our perimeter sensors, please. The dots that are on his suit reflect light to our sensors, which then goes into our computer and captures all of their locations. So if you're ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Great, let's see the capture on our screens. Now the computer connects the dots on his suit and creates the digital skeleton. Now you see, Eric, you can do a T-pose.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Cool.
We always start with this T-pose to mark the beginning of each take. That way it's easier for us to... Eric!
You saw that?
Yeah.
Gross.
Take your left hand, touch the tip of your nose for me. Good. Now your right hand. And let's do both arms one more time. We start with some simple movements so we can calibrate our system. And you can relax your arms. Next, we do full body movements. Start with jumping jacks. Great. And a little bit, you can just jog in place.
Sounds good.
So digital animators will start with the skeleton. Then they can change the aspect ratio, add a wider frame on top. Finally, they can add skins. Using this technology, we can turn Eric and his movements into anything that we want. So we have turned you into a cuddly, friendly teddy bear.
Teddy bear, adorable. Oh.
But you're not just any teddy bear.
Okay.
You're the star of Universal's Ted.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, let's see some moves.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
Here we go.
Yeah. Oh, it's going right here from Susan. Check this out, buddy. How about a little bit of that?
Oh, yeah.
How about a little something for the ladies?
Oh, Eric, you have channeled the inner Ted. Hey, Ted, what do you think of the show so far?
That's why I watch these things. It's like a cool behind the scenes thing that you wouldn't know.
Thunder Buddies, Ted?
Thunder Buddies for life.
You made it, Thunder Buddy. Give it up for Ted and Eric!
We are ready for the finale.
Good idea.
Cool.
All right. Fun fact, Seth MacFarlane had a modified mocap suit made by Phil Tippett Studios so that he could act and direct at the same time. Let's take a look at the genius behind Ted.
We were able to do Ted in a completely lifelike way and to use technology in a way that it really hasn't been used to date. What that technology does so well is it takes fantastical characters and makes them as realistic in movement as possible.
As far as technology has come with CGI and visual effects, some things just look better when they're real, like fire. Let's take a look at fire stunts. It's from Universal Films. One of the most exciting and dangerous aspects of filmmaking is undoubtedly a fire stunt. And we're gonna bring back out our top-notch stunt department to show you how they execute a live fire burn. Julia in the center is the performer we will be setting on fire. We have our coordinator David and Jay acting as our safeties. Now, if you look at Julia's face, you may be wondering, is she so nervous that she's sweating profusely? No, that is protective fire gel that she's got on all of her exposed skin areas. You may know what it's like if you miss a spot with sunscreen. Imagine if you missed a spot while on fire. Before we fuel, we check our extinguishers in case of an early ignition.
Extinguisher 1. Check. Extinguisher 2. Check.
Thank you, Jay.
Susan, we're ready to fuel. Jay, you ready? Julia, you ready? Fueling.
At the completion of the shot, Julia will make her way to this fire blanket where she will be extinguished. At that point, we are looking for a thumbs up that she is okay. If Julia gives us a thumbs down, that is an alert to get our medical team involved. Now it's at this point that I need to stress, these are trained professionals, and they are using very special equipment. This is not the type of thing anyone should ever think about trying on their own. Julia is going to burn for 8 to 10 seconds. Our coordinator David is applying about 8 ounces of fuel, and we are now in the last spot where the fuel will be applied. So I'll leave it to our booth to set the lights in the house for the shot, and we'll set our clock to 0 on the side screens. We do ask everyone to please remain in your seats for the duration of the stunt. And whenever you're ready, David.
Thank you. Jay, you ready?
Ready.
Julia, you ready to burn? Ready. Stunts is ready.
Ready and action.
Light. You're lit.
Yeah.
10 seconds.
Yeah.
Well, if you're not sure if that was real fire, if you're seated a little farther away, you can ask the folks right next to the stage, right? We can confirm that was real.
Susan, I'm ready for the firework.
Eric, we just did the burn.
Oh, you trying to talk me out of it? Oh, let's do it. No, I want to do it.
We can do it again. Ready, Eric?
Oh, this goes! We're doing it right now! Okay, I did not see that coming! Alright, safety first, guys! Back up! Back up! We got a hot fire here! Oh, it's so hot! Oh, it's so hot! I can barely feel it!
Yeah.
Alright, look out! Look out, Susan! Susan! Susan!
You're out.
Okay!
Eric, I was worried about you.
I was a little worried. I wasn't worried about our boy family. Give up for them.
That's why we have our volunteers. Our family all the way from Los Angeles. And the amazing screamer Jessica. Wasn't she fantastic? Getting scared. What was going to happen? She didn't know. You guys have been a fantastic audience. We will see you in the movies and have the best day ever. Universal Studios Hollywood.
The entertainment capital of LA. And now we'd like to invite the cast members to stay and get exclusive behind-the-scenes look at how we made our behind-the-scenes show.
That's right.
Orients are going to be trying to hit a tram at 7:15.
That's right. So we're going to interview some of our volunteers now and get what their idea was like in the show. So start with our family.
Orients, come on up, guys.
Yeah, come on.
Applause for fantastic. Isabel was very nervous, but she did amazing, didn't she? Great.
Yes, she did. Get right here in the center, guys.
You guys are great. Now you guys are past members, right? How long have you been past members for?
Several years on and off.
Oh, great, great. Okay. And Parush, what's your favorite thing in the entire park?
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter, yeah? What specifically in Harry Potter?
The ride.
The ride, yeah? What about the food? Buttercream, there it is, that's good. Isabella, now that you did the show, how do you feel? You feel great? Yeah, was that fun? Yeah, that's great. You know, I think you did a fantastic job up there. And I love the fact that you got over your worries and you did a great job. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah.
That was great. Now, how different was that from being in the show? Now, you guys did the show a month ago, right? Now, how different was it to be on the stage as opposed to watching it on the family?
Exciting.
Exciting?
To be backstage, being a part of the show. Yeah, versus watching the show.
Right, sure, yeah. Good, good, yeah. Well, we take pride in that. We try to make the audience involved as much as humanly possible, because that's what makes it interesting for everybody, right? In fact, we want to get a photo of you guys over here at the Foley Car. Come on over.
Do you guys have a phone on you? I can take a picture of you guys. Awesome. There we go. I got you, yeah.
All right. Go ahead and get set up.
Here we go. Special thank you photo. Yours is coming, Jessica. Yours is coming. All right, perfect. I got you guys. Let's do a few. 1, 2, 3. Do a nice one of you guys up here. 1, 2, 3. Nice.
Great
Look at
job,
that,
guys. Give a round of applause to the Alborians one more time. They're incredible. Come on over, guys.
You guys can come on down. Please come back into our show. You're well rehearsed now if you ever want to do it again. Awesome. And now, you guys can have a seat. We're going to bring up Jessica, our other volunteer. Give her another big round of applause. Yay! Jessica, come on down. I know we got some people over here, so let's move on down so everybody can see you.
Yeah.
So Jessica, this was your first time seeing the show, right?
Yeah, it is.
Awesome. Did you have fun? What were your thoughts while you were up here with us?
It was super fun. It was way better than I expected.
Oh, good. She thought she was going to have a horrible time, but it was fun. And how long have you been a cast member?
A month.
A month.
A month? Brand new? All right.
What is it? You're already enjoying the perks of being a cast member. You're going to do something like this. Awesome. What's your favorite thing in the park so far?
Harry Potter one's pretty cool, but I'm excited for Harvard.
Oh, the crowd is excited. Horror Nights. I love it. This is awesome. We want to do a special thank you for you. Actually, we have our stunt coordinator, David. I think he's hanging out backstage. Here he comes. Give David one more big round of applause. Now, I don't know if you know this, but he was the one in the Michael Myers suit that jumped out at you. So actually, David might have some interesting things to tell us about what it's like for him for that part of the show.
Yeah, so as you guys know, I rappel, I do an inverted rappel from up in the grid. As I come down and we do our fight, I go immediately into a quick change, and so I'm having to catch my breath, get another jumpsuit on, and put the rubber mask on, and then sit there still while the entire gag is going on, while I'm sweating profusely underneath, trying not to breathe and trying not to move so much, but it worked out pretty good today.
So yeah, we thought it'd be really fun to give you two a photo together, and him without the Michael Myers mask. I got your phone here. Actually, Eric will take this one for us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we have some more light
I'll
over
get the
here.
light over here.
There we go.
No scare this time.
Yeah, no scare this
That's
time.
right.
Yeah.
We promise.
All right, here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. That is a good looking photo. All right, great.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Everyone give Jessica a round of applause for your
That's
time.
right. Great. So now we thought we'd take a little time to tell you about some people you don't get to see in our show. Obviously, you see us on stage throughout the show. We have so many more people behind the scenes making this show happen. I'm going to start in our big booth way up there. You see
Way up there.
Clark. We've got Red up there. He's our SET.
He's waving to you right now. That's right up there.
He deserves a round of applause. SET stands for Special Effects Technician. He's giving us green lights right now and red lights. So those are lights that tell us if something's going on backstage. We get red lights if there's like a technical issue, and that means we have to stall out here a little bit. And we see green lights in the show, that means we are good to go. We're waiting on some safety elements backstage, and that means we can move on to the next segment. Below him, we've got our audio mixer right here, Umberto. He's gonna make He's controlling our microphones. All three of us have mics in the show with 3 mic people. Also, all the audio levels throughout the show. He plays a number of our clips.
In fact, he does the entire. How many people think that the entire fight scene is a track where you just hit play and you just go? So how many people think it's just a track?
It's actually Umberto waiting for every single punch or every single kick to be thrown, and he cues every single one of them. So he has to get it right every single show. Whether he's been here yesterday or the week before that, he has to get it right every single time.
Yeah.
In fact, our entire crew comes in about 2 hours before the show begins to do a little technical rehearsal to make sure that everything is working properly.
That's right. And speaking of our backstage crew, we have one stage manager. We've got Linda. In fact, she's right back there.
Thank you, Linda.
Linda. All of the cues in the show. We have 3 show crew that move all of our set pieces around the stage, get everything where it needs to go. We have our fantastic show control who are out here in the halls. There we are. Get you guys in and out of the theater safely. Fill up our shows so as many people can see the show as possible. And we have our dresser backstage as well. Does a number of things. Also helps Eric with some quick changes that he has.
Yeah.
And David as well with some quick changes.
Yeah. Show control also plays a vital role for these guys when they rappel in. Of course, we're very mindful of the spaces where they are rappelling in. And there's all kinds of situations that would lead to guests needing to leave at the exact moment that these guys are coming in. So show control is always keeping their eyes on that exact area to make sure that everyone's safe. So they do much more than load people in. They keep everyone safe for us.
That's right. Very important. Yes! Look at that. Some love. Both Eric and I have been doing the show for a number of years. I've been doing it for 10 years.
Sure.
About the
I've
same amount
been
of
doing
time.
that, I think 1 year less than that, maybe 9 years.
9 years? Yeah. So we're thrilled to be back here. We came back this summer. And what makes every show different and special, because obviously we do the same show pretty much every day, but every show is truly different because of our fantastic volunteers and what they get to bring to the show. So I'm wondering if we have the rest of our stunt department cast ready. They are! Fantastic! Julia and Jay! Woo, here they come. So they're out here now. We'll hang back here so you guys can see. They're going to chat now about our fire burn of the show and anything else they want to share about kind of their stunt careers and whatnot. Take it away, Julia.
Well, so as you guys know, the finale of the show is lighting Julia on fire. We go through a number of safety things in order to make sure that every single show, we have a long checklist that several people check off to make sure that everything's in place. The best thing to do for things like that is just, no matter how many shows we've done. I mean, we did 5 shows today. Just considering every show to be a brand new one, and always check. What is it? Dot the I's, cross the T's, all that stuff, and just making sure that we're all keeping accountable for each other as well. It's very important for us to work as a group in all of this to make sure that the fights are cohesive and that we're watching for each other. Again, both Jay and I are watching as she's doing the burn, making sure no one's jumping over the yellow line or coming across, and then also making sure that she stays safe during her fire burn, which I'll allow Julia to talk a little bit more about.
Hey guys, I'm Julia. I'm going to set on fire. I'm just going to give you guys a brief overview of my career as a stunt woman and what kind of led me into fire. I actually did not ever want to do fire when I became a stunt person because my dad was a firefighter, so that kind of goes against everything I was ever taught. But then I just kept getting on set and they kept setting me on fire, so I was like, I guess I better get comfortable with it. So first I told my dad and he was more excited than I was, so I was like, okay, cool. So every show that I've pretty much been in, including this one, I worked for Cirque du Soleil, I've been on several films, I've always been around fire. And the thing that people don't understand the most about fire is that a lot of chemistry goes involved into it. So I had to learn a lot about heat transfer and what makes the gel work, because the fire gel is basically like thick water, and if I don't have that, I will be burning my actual skin. So I needed to learn the chemistry of that, and the fuel, what everything looks like, how to keep it safe. And eventually now I'm way more comfortable with fire, which allows me to do it 5 times a day. So that's kind of an overview of who I am, and yeah, that's about it.
Awesome. Thanks, Julia. Jay, you want to share a little bit about you?
Yeah, sure. Hi, I'm Jay. I've always wanted to be a stuntman for a long time.
Coming to the light.
I'm a big fan of Jackie Chan movies, so I do a lot of martial arts. I used to be a pro wrestler, an indie pro wrestler in this Southern California scene. I see a pro wrestling show right there. So yeah, I'm a huge fan, and my specialty are fights and falls, so I can do this all day, like fall to a flip into this, and I can do that all day. I also am a fight choreographer outside of here. I do a lot of films.
Award-winning fight choreographer.
So I make a lot of films. This show is very interesting to me because I am a filmmaker as well. I make a lot of action movies, and that's what got me into doing stunts professionally here and in movies and television and motion capture, video games. And yeah, I've been here since when they started putting in the stunt people back in 2015. So I'm probably the longest running stunt person in this show, and I get to do a lot of these events as well for you guys, and I'm so happy and blessed to be a part of this show for as long as it is. And also one more fact is I've only done this role, which is stunt number 3. So I've put out fires on human beings more than inanimate objects at this point. So yeah, over 2,000 burns. So if I see a person on fire, I probably wouldn't freak out. Just give me the fire extinguisher, I'll get them. Thank you so much, everybody.
Great, guys. Why don't we open it up to the audience now? If you guys have any questions, go ahead and raise your hand. I'll come to you and we'll answer as best we can right here. As first person. What's your name?
Chelsea.
Chelsea, how long have you been in Passport?
On and off since I moved here in 2006.
Oh, very cool. And what's your question?
So we heard vaguely a little bit about everyone's careers, but I know most people at Universal are in the industry, and I'd love to know more about where you started, maybe some of the films you've been on. Let's brag a little.
You paid her to ask that. You paid her to ask that.
I think if you talk to anybody here at Universal, as far as the actors are concerned, everyone comes from a completely different background, from all different parts of the world, whether it be stunts, or editing, or acting, or voiceover. People have all different backgrounds, and getting into it and how they got into it is a different story depending on who you talk to. For these guys, they've been stunt people and editors. I've been an actor since high school. In fact, I'll plug myself to watch the 7th episode of NCIS Los Angeles. I'll be on it this season. But it's there are amazingly talented people here who've been in the industry for a long time. If you want to get into it, it's basically talk to more people as often as you can about how to get into it, and they'll guide you in the right direction. It really is about meeting the right people, getting into the right circumstances, preparation, opportunity, meeting one another.
That works.
Yeah. Anything else you guys want to add to that?
Yeah, like for me, I'm an actor as well. I also stunt coordinate, and my specialty is sword fighting. So a lot of what I got into stunts by means of, I attended a conservatory where I had to do all the things: acting, singing, dancing, and then also fight choreography and stage combat. And so I just had a niche for it, grew up doing martial arts, and it just kind of flowed into the next thing. And kind of piggyback off what Eric said, that's what you find here. As you put yourself out more and more, you just find that little niche that kind of speaks to you, and it rolls on to the next.
Yeah, so like I said earlier, I started when I wanted to be a stuntman since I was young because of Jackie Chan movies, but I also make my own films as well. So I do a lot of previs for movies and television shows like 911 Lone Star, Us, Get Out, 3 recent films. So because of my skill as an editor, I was able to bring the stunts and the editing, in the career path of a previous stuntman. And also, I had a game that just recently came out where I'm the main character, or one half of the main character. It's called Midnight Fight Express. So I did a lot of mocap on that. I did over 1,200 fight moves. So it was so exciting to have that come out and see myself as the main character. And also, I do a lot of stunts in God of War Ragnarok, which is coming out PS5 in November. So look out for that. Thank you.
I was a gymnast for 20 years, and then I went to school for acting, and my professors were like, oh, gymnast plus actor equals stunt woman. I was like, yeah, that works. So that's kind of how I got into it. I've done mostly live shows. Like I said, I worked for Cirque du Soleil, which is probably the biggest name that I've worked for. But since I've been out here in LA, I've worked on iCarly a few times. I don't know if anyone still watches that.
actor. My background would be musical theater. Got to do Young Frankenstein some years ago. That was definitely like a highlight. Mel Brooks came and saw it. I was like, oh my God, what is this thing? Young Frankenstein. Yeah, some TV and commercials, little things on the Mini Project with Jane the Virgin. And that's been what is a really amazing about this particular job is getting to do all of that and this, with this kind of the steady performing gig here and getting to perform every day just about, but also make those other roles happen and get to do it all. So yeah, I feel very, very lucky.
All right, well, we'll take one more question. We got all right, right over here. Tell us your name, tell us how long you've been a cast member.
Chris, we've been platinum for over 4 years.
Platinum.
And what's your question? Is there a specific movie that inspired you as kids to kind of do what you do? Is there a specific scene or anything that stands out that kind of led to your roles today?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
There's a number of films that have inspired me. The Princess Bride is a big one. Like I said, I grew up watching a lot of Bruce Lee films, and so that combination you get this. As far as the acting stuff though, like one of my favorite movies is Braveheart. I love Gladiator. I love like big epic stuff. And that kind of like wraps all of that, there's humor, there's comedy, there's drama, there's action, there's a little bit of everything. So that's what
I didn't really like action movies at all growing up, but once I got to college, I really wanted to get into an industry where I could do backflips for a living and jump on a trampoline for a living and just do what I like to do for fun. So the film industry kind of went hand in hand with that. So I don't know that I was necessarily inspired by a specific movie, but that I would get to continue to do what I love for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I would say for me, like old musicals. Okay, that's what I grew up on, like Singing in the Rain and Easter Parade, and like even old dramas like Stage Door Canteen. I just like the fantasy of what it would be like to be an actor was just so seductive. And here I am.
For me, movies. Definitely movies.
Yeah.
What are we doing? How do I do that?
Awesome. Well, I think we're gonna wrap it up there. Thank you guys so much for coming and staying for our post show. Thank you for being past members and supporting live entertainment. Have a great night.
Thank you.